Psyching yourself out is a real thing. I've got a friend that I do jujitsu with, and we're both going to the World Championships in a couple weeks. There are a few of us from my gym who are going, and he's cutting weight, and he's pretty much stopped training. He's doing other cardio, and he's focusing on his weight cut. Every time I see him, he looks miserable because he's cutting weight. My impression is that he's just gotten in his head so much about this tournament because he puts so much pressure on himself that he's like frozen himself. And my opinion is that what he's doing is totally counterproductive. He may be losing the weight that he needs, but he's losing his conditioning. He's certainly not having any fun. And he's putting so much pressure on himself for these championships that he probably can't wait till they're through, which doesn't really bode well for performance during the tournament. That being said, I could be completely wrong. Maybe he goes there and wins the whole thing. I, on the other hand, am not cutting any weight. I'm training like I always train, enjoying myself. We'll see. Maybe I'll lose my first match and, whatever. That'll be it. Who knows? But the bottom line, my theory and my opinion is that you just keep doing what you've always done, and that's your preparation. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to do something special. I think that we tell ourselves that we have to do something special. If there's a special event, we tell ourselves like, oh, I gotta do something different from what I've always done. Well, I don't think I agree with that philosophy. I think what has brought you to this point is good enough to get you through this event that you're gearing up for. And if it's not, then that's so be it. I mean, my jiu-jitsu is as good as it's going to be. Like, it's not going to be any better in 2 weeks than it is today. Basically the training I'm doing right now is just to maintain what I have. My jiu-jitsu is the sum of the jiu-jitsu that I've learned in 3.5 years of training. And the next 2 weeks are not going to make a difference. The only thing I can do in the next 2 weeks is to maintain my conditioning. So now, I could lose my conditioning if I stopped training, or even if I did a different kind of training, because training is very specific. Like, running wind sprints or hill sprints might be good for cardio in general, but it doesn't translate 1-for-1 to jiu-jitsu cardio. Just like jiu-jitsu cardio doesn't transfer 1-to-1 to other. Like, just because I can train for a long time in jiu-jitsu doesn't mean I can run a marathon. They're different things. So you need the specific training. And, it's just our minds, if we're not masters of our minds will be our master. We see this thing coming up on the horizon, and we tell ourselves that, oh, the way I am right now isn't good enough to, do okay in that thing. Well, that may be, but we need to, whatever improvements need to be made, we need to feel our way through those. We can't decide ahead of time and manufacture it in our minds. So There's a function of trust the process that is involved. Anyway, I haven't said all this to my friend because I don't think he would listen. I know my instructor has said these things to him, and I don't think he listens to him, but at least one of us has told him. So we'll see how it goes.